The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. The Finger Lakes region of New York is the host of about a 2.5-mile circuit that has been host to Formula One, IndyCar, and of course a NASCAR staple. Well, tonight we do something a little bit different with this track here in upstate New York, and we take the Cars Tour late models here for a race around the Cup layout. Welcome everybody to PTRTV for tonight's coverage of the eCar Premier Late Model Stock Series in race number 5 of their Season 2 campaign. Going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and the production truck, and of course I got Bradley Dalton here giving us the call. So Bradley, in the eCar world, it has been quite the week, both in terms of what is going on in the league, and we got a new kind of manager per se helping out with things. So last week was another interesting show, but we'll see what this new realm brings us.
Yeah, good evening everyone, and interesting is one way to phrase it. New admin coming in and immediately throwing the hammer down. I know you and me talked about it in the green room pre-race here. Came in and immediately said, hey drivers, effective immediately, we have a new policy about numbers, we have a new policy about paint, and you better be on your P's and Q's and be ready to go. So it's pretty cool to see that going through. I haven't seen anything about penalties from last week, which makes me presume that there wasn't any, but I'm not sure.
Well, the guy, and I won't bring out names, although anybody who watches the broadcast last week, actually you wouldn't know because I didn't know what his car number was, but there was a driver who I do know who caused an intentional wreck who is no longer with us, which is a good thing. You know, we have had that a few times, and we are trying to tidy up things here because this is a league that, last season put on some really good racing. This season we've kind of had a little bit more foul balls, if you want to bring baseball into it, but we're going to make things right here. And we are in warm-up at the Glen here. Qualifying did already take place. A 17-car grid here. And just in terms of what we're dealing with there, Bradley, this is a car that, the legs don't really extend as far as these straightaways go, so they do kind of run out of power here, but I will tell you, they do really handle quite well. I did a couple test laps here last season when they came here, and this car is an absolute hoot to, to kind of boat around these corners.
Yeah, I've been watching practice go through. I watched qualifying, and I'm really enjoying the look of these cars, especially when they come down the hill here, and I'm just enjoying everything with it. You are right, they are a little short on power. The gearing isn't exactly where it needs to be for everything, so I'm hoping some of these guys have gotten it right and can time it right and enjoy it. I think it's going to be very close competitive racing. As far as points go, Riley Music still in the lead points-wise, 4 races and 2 wins, so I'm thinking we should see a pretty good run here today, but I don't want to guarantee anything. Oh, there was just a big wreck on the front stretch. Oh, there's a car tumbling.
Oh my goodness.
Right at the end of warm-up.
I saw somebody flying over the pit wall. Oh my. We got to pull. Very rarely do I go to a replay and practice here. Who is that car that just...
Riley Music.
That was impressive. That...
Okay.
All right, yeah, that was. We're just going to, I've never watched so many replays in practice before. If he stayed
said it
on
was gonna be a
circuit,
good
I would have
race.
gave that a 10 out of 10, but he did fly off the circuit here. But that is the end of the warm-up timer there. So now these guys will, get booted out of this little mini session and head down right to the grid. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit that like and subscribe button. We are on our way to 1,300 subscribers, and we need your help to get us there. So make sure you do those little clicks there for us. But let's go ahead and give you that PTR TV starting lineup, and it is as follows. Chase Williamson, that is a name that I have not heard before, but he will be starting this race from the front row with Riley Music to the outside. And look at that gap there, about 0.7 of a second. That is a big gap there. Chris Horton in third with Nathan Rue rolling off in the fourth spot. Jake Grout in fifth. Cameron Bennett out of Connecticut in the sixth position. Cole Huard in seventh. Brent Meckes, we got Pops there in the eighth spot. Ninth is RJ Williams, and then Jeff Williams, row number 5.
Yeah, moving on from that, it is going to be Mark Royer in P11, and then Blake Massengill bringing out 12th place there. P13, Justin Crow, and in 14th, it is Hunter Harriet there. And then in P15, we got Cameron Stone, and then Connor Jones bringing in P16. And then rounding out, it is going to be Jonathan Golden, the Lone Warrior in P17.
Hold on, is that Connor Jones that... I thought he was banned. Evidently not. Oh, I don't know. I thought I heard something about that, but maybe I didn't, so, well, carry on. I won't start drama. But you did hear a little bit of facts about the race in terms of how they're going to call this one, and I think I'll give you those little tidbits of information there, Bradley.
Yeah, so this is going to be a local yellow only race, as is traditional with road courses. The exception to the rule being if a bunch of drivers magically end up together, like kind of what we had there during the warm-up session. If that happens, then admin have said that they will go ahead and call out some full course yellows if required. It's 30 laps, shouldn't be anything too crazy, but the other rule, the big one, is that if a driver intentionally causes a wreck, instead of a time penalty like you'd see in F1, IndyCar, something different, it will be a drive-through. And I will tell you right now, a drive-through penalty in these late models is detrimental.
Yes, it is, especially when in a race with no yellow flags. If you have an issue where you're relegated to the back of the field, then, well, that's your race. You're going to have to do the Bill Elliott 1987 Talladega and unlap yourself on the racetrack. And a little hint there, most people don't have the ability to do that. So, but here we are coming down the chute here at Watkins Glen. Some people call this an 11-turn layout. Some people call it a 7-turn layout. All depends if you count the inner loop as 1 turn or 4. Take your pick, roll a die on that one. But coming down here through the little mini chute leads us into the final right-hand corner, putting ourselves onto the pit straight. But welcome everybody to the race. We have the eCar Late Model Series doing their first and only right-hand turns on the season. Chase Williamson going to lead us down here for the start of the race. Barney has the flag in hand, and there he goes waving it. Let's do some road racing tonight, boys.
Woo, underway here, 2x2. Everybody's going to get things going nice and calm. Riley Music there on the outside line is going to try to run Chase Williamson there on the inside. Side by side, they come through. Outside line isn't going to have it, though. In a road course, you want to be on that inside line. And as we kick away, Chase Williamson's around. And as we come down here through the fun S's, and it is going to try to settle out single file. Everybody seems nice and together through, but it is Riley Music that's going to have to put some pressure down, find something. This is where that lack of power down the back straight is really going to start catching people out as we run down here through, and then we're going to hit the hook. I don't classify this as, I call this 7 turns. I'm not calling it anything crazy. Inner loop out, and now we're going to go through the outer loop here and around, and again, this will get you down.
Stone around in the bus stop on that back straightaway. Let's see what happened to Mr. Stone, and a little bit of contact from the mad scientist, it appears.
Yeah, side by side in. Yeah, that's painful.
Royer was Royer literally stopped trying to get out of the way, and I think that put him more in the way there from my very rudimentary perspective there. Knowing him, he would not do that intentionally, but unintentionally caused something. But either way, you got RJ Williams in the number 21, not 210. We got that corrected, and I will say the spec map on that car looking pretty dandy here under the sunshine here at Watkins Glen. Connor Jones looks like he just made a pass on pops on Brett Mekas there, entering turn number 1 and heading up the hill here, up through the S's here. Right-hander, kick a left, and I will tell you, it is rather difficult here. For some reason, I always tend to get loose here, especially when you rock the curbs. I get loose, but with these lower powered cars, may not be as big of a deal. Heading down the Mac straightaway, let's see what we get a speed of here. 145, I think that's just the cap of this vehicle here. And cutting that curb, and I think he hit the edge of the wall there, if I'm not mistaken.
That is pushing, trying to find whatever you can find through. These cars are capped at 145. It's going to be very, very hard for them to do anything here. Let's check out this replay. Close does he get to this wall? How close can you get to the wall? How brave can you be?
Yeah, he hit it.
Well, you can be about that brave.
He hit it. I saw this. I mean, in the words of Taylor Swift, I saw the sparks fly whenever he was around. And whoa, we got some Tokyo drift action. Andre knows a drift driver offhand, and he says the name every time. I don't know who it is, but that was a big yeehaw off the final corner there, and somebody is going rather slow off the final corner. Justin Crow, I'm not sure if he had a problem or not, but it did allow Hunter Harriet to get around, and Harriet is not in a number 81. I don't know if you are in the simulator tonight, Mr. Bradley, but if you want to validate if that 8 has the proper livery on it, but I do not see it myself. But either way, some activity going on behind him with Massengill and Crow.
Yeah, check it out here. It's hard for me to tell too, so I don't think so is what I'm gonna stick with.
I ain't seeing a 1. I see it. I done see it. I'm gonna talk like a redneck. I done see an 8, but I done don't see a 1. And I think 8 and a 1 it makes 81. So that's my Tennessee from a New Englander right there.
I'll give that one to you. It's okay.
I mean, I'll do my Bostonian, but nobody will understand that. So, RJ Williams and Connor Jones here. And you can see the big gap that is formed between Cole Heward and Connor Jones, that there of about 3 seconds. And Nathan Rue really slideways off the final corner. And in these cars that, again, you don't have momentum. You lose all that speed, and you don't have the power to get it back. That little wiggle slowed him up, and that gave the 29 enough room there to make a move down the front straightaway into turn 1, makes that pass up for the 4th spot. But he will have about a 2.5 second buffer to get up there to Chris Horton, who is about a second or so behind Riley Music, who is now 1.5 seconds behind our leader. And Jonathan Golden, well, he might be bronze after this one.
Well, that's what he gets for running a Tennessee livery. I'll let you guess where I'm at from the U.S. just based on that statement. Anyways, runs the Tennessee livery, hits the inside curb there, and the car does not want to stick with it, doesn't want to go around, and just sends it through. Curbs are dangerous here at the Glen. It is a very, very dangerous thing, but the issue is the way these cars are tuned, the way they're capped, you have to push. You have to get a little brave, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
You got to make like salt and pepper and not push it, right?
Push it real good, though.
Yes. For the 3 people that still know a song from about 1992. Whoa, that is a little... Oh. I mean, this isn't CODA. I don't think we're supposed to go off into a different state on corner exit here, but Harriet clearly didn't get that memo, and he's a little bit loose off the final corner. Now he is slowed off the final corner onto the front straightaway. Crow is going to be on driver's side entering turn number 1, which is really not where you want to be, but perhaps a crossover is in the cards, perhaps contacts in the cards. And now Blake Massengill, he's trying to throw his hat in the ring and try to make something happen.
Yeah, Blake Massengill trying to come around as well, and just kind of says, hey, keep fighting for a second. I'll just sneak my way forward here, but Massengill not able to capitalize at the moment, and now we're going to run down this long backstretch here and just hold on to it. What can you do? Do you get a little bit of slipstream? Can you get a little bit of speed here? Do you get brave on the inner loop? And as you see the curbs, you can see who's brave, who's smart, and who's cautious. But for the most part, everyone ends up in the same place.
So what you're saying is if you're brave, then you are not smart. Is that what I'm inferring here?
Possibly. Bravery can be smart, but typically when a driver gets very brave, it doesn't end well for
Well, like
them.
those people who they go on TikTok and they climb on top of buildings and they jump between buildings with absolutely no safety. That is brave, but I would not say that's smart. So I guess maybe we'll put those two in the same category there. As who is that for? Chase Williamson, the race leader, had a problem in turn number 1.
Chase Williamson, let's see, is this just outbraking yourself?
Pull a Jeff Gordon 2007. No, is that a hardware failure, or was he texting and didn't realize there was a corner there? I'm very plausible that was the case, because he just done dare didn't turn. Let's see, did he fill out the spreadsheet? He didn't fill out the spreadsheet, so I do not know how old he is. This is a very, very young league, so if he was texting and driving, well, that would be, all these teen boppers these days, that's what the cool thing is to do. But Cole Huard now goes to second, and this does give us a more formidable battle for the race lead, with Riley Musick leading this race by only about 8-9 tenths of a second over Huard, and then Cole Horton, our former champion, one of our veterans of the series, he's in third, just hanging right behind that number 29.
Yeah, I think Horton here's a chance to win today, if I have to guess, because Chris Horton is just sticking right there through. And I'll tell you what, there was a good three-way battle back in the back with Massengill, Stone, and Bennett that battled out for a little bit while we were watching this battle in the front. They were three wide for a little bit towards the inner loop. Things got kind of crazy here, and I'll tell you right now that number 57, other than the shiny number that I like, Cameron Stone seems to have some good pace through, and I'm expecting to see something here from this little frontline esports driver.
High school social studies teacher. I didn't even know that was still a topic in school, but it is, and if you need to know a little bit more about it, that number 57 will be the man to facilitate that for you, as he is working on Bennett, and we'll see if he can make something happen here down the straightaway on board with Bennett. Let's take a look at the rear deck lid cam. Let's see if Stone makes a move, and I think he will think better of it. He'll give the space there, entering the bus stop, and you can see the curb hopping, the curb jumping, the curb dancing, and you kind of have to do it on the first curb there. You literally have to go full send and trust the car over. And it's not just in these. I've seen GT3 cars. I've seen everything here. If you're not bracing for life on that first curb, you're not making speed here.
Yeah, the drivers are really, really brave with the way they're hitting the curbs and the way they're having to slide these cars around. It's a very interesting drive style to see, especially for the difference in road courses versus how they would typically drive this on an oval. As that is going to be, I believe, Cole Huard, who runs a little wide there, and that might open up a door for Chris Horton. Chris Horton, do you hear a second place today, my friend?
Well, he hears a second place, he sees a second place, but whether or not he can get it is a different story. Let's check out the lap times here, and just to get us, kind of an estimation of where we stand. And you can see Horton with a 15.7 rather, a couple 100ths faster than Riley. And then you can see back there Chase Williamson, 0.3 faster than anybody, with his biggest problem being that he is now 4.5 seconds back. And he is currently battling through the trees and through the forest. He just passed Nathan Aru for that 4th spot, but unfortunately he's going to have to be just, impossibly faster to overcome about a 4.5 second gap with how close these times are.
Well, it's very much doable, and the thing is, we're only lap 8 of 30. We've got plenty of time here to go, so it's not unheard of for him to be able to catch up and get going. It's just going to take a lot of very consistent pace, and the issue is going to become that I don't think these cars can sustain the pace they're sustaining for that long. I don't think they can sustain 30 laps. These guys don't have tires. I've been told that they should not be making pit stops. This should be just 30 laps out unless somebody's miscalculated something somewhere. But what I've been told, it's no fuel, no tires, all gas, no brake, baby.
Oh, Cam Stone really close to the back bumper of that 0.8. In fact, I think he had to go wide to evade and cut that S a little bit too short there. That really set him off the wrong line heading up the hill through the S's here. And again, once you get to about 145 miles an hour, the car kind of tops out. But I will go back to the front, as opposite as that statement is. I never really realized that. Back to the front. That gap for the lead has shrunk quite heavily. It was 3/4 of a second. It was 0.8 up to a second in that ballpark. And now we're down to roughly about a half a second. and things you never think you would utter on a road course. I think the second and third place, Huard and Horton, I think they are drafting and working together to try to catch music.
I mean, it would behoove them to do so. And the thing is, it's lap 9 to 30. Anything is still possible with 21 laps to go here. So it wouldn't surprise me a bit to see a little bit of P2, P3 trying to just work with each other enough to get things moving forward. I wouldn't be surprised. And there's lots of little 2-car battles that are opening up all the way through this field. There's lots of just 2 by 2 by 3 battles that are happening. It's very interesting. And Cole Huard put something in the chat in the sim and said something about a slowdown. I don't know if Cole got a slowdown at some point or what happened.
Yeah, I know that there are you can only go so wide on the corner exit of turn number 1. I know that. I never really thought of any other place here where it is that stringent. Again, I'm not a driver. I mean, I have a wheel. I'm sitting in a racing cockpit, but the amount I drive is basically once every 6 months. So if they do tweak the track limits, it would not be something I would know offhand. But just in my experience of the Glen, I didn't even think there was a place for a slowdown here unless you just egregiously cut the bus stop. So interesting to see where that may have come out. But I will say that I do feel like Huard is now left the gravitational pull of Horton and is now in the gravitational pull of Riley Music here to bring some astronomy into it. He's kind of right in that middle, but he is within slipstream range of the leader at this point, and Horton falling off. I don't know how much help he's going to be giving anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm not thinking a lot of help is going to be given anywhere to anyone. It's just these guys continue to push. They're trying to keep things consistent. They're trying to run their laps, and they're really trying to run their battles. Everything's very close, but look at this. The 57 is that Cameron Stone finally getting around Cameron Bennett.
Bennett just drove himself off the track there, whether intentional or just and maybe scrolling TikTok on the straightaway and just wasn't paying attention for the quarter. I highly doubt that's what it was, but he just completely botched turn number 1. That gave Stone the opportunity. And then you have Justin Crowe and Hunter Harriet. That is for 9th and 10th. Jake Grout in the number 72 is not on circuit at all. He is 10 laps behind. I don't think he took any laps here today. Connor Jones is not scored in the race anymore. So not sure what happened. I mean, let's be real. So you were here for this race, Bradley. The absolute poop show at Myrtle Beach. Basically, some drivers were removed from the league that day, and from what I was told, the 44 was on that list, unless he slipped through the cracks. But I don't know. Abruptly, he goes from racing to not racing, and I have no trigger of him crashing. So I wonder. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Perhaps you can skedoodle up and maybe get a word from Dylan for us. But yeah, otherwise, I have no idea.
Yeah,
as I just made up the word skedoodle.
No, skedoodle's a real word. I'll send a message and see if I can figure out exactly what happened there and how that landed. As far as Jake Grout goes, or Jake Grout, the number 72, from what I can see, I show a trigger during the formation lap that he crashed, but when I go back and review it, there's nothing. So there's nothing, I have nothing to go off of there.
Yeah, he was a number mismatch that I thought we heard was validated for this specific event, but again, we're just, we got some new odds and ends we're trying to figure out here. Again, if we can get a word as to what happened to Connor, that'd be interesting. But the battle for the lead is hot and heavy right now. Cole Huard right to the rear bumper of Riley Music here. And that number 29, he was about a half second back. And you have that third place vehicle of Chris Horton, who has dropped back, and he drove all the way off circuit there in turn number 1, super wide. That will give you a 1x penalty for what little it's worth. Best battle on the track, other than the lead, is this trio of Hunter Harriet. We have Cam Stone and Bennett, and all of them, again, they are using the 1x. There must be no incident cap or anything here within the league, because they are not worried about that track limit.
Yeah, they're kind of
NASCAR codaing it.
Yeah, I have controversial opinions about track limits. My opinion on track limits is that there's a track surface, use the track surface. And if you can't use the track surface, then don't race. But NASCAR doesn't take that view very well. So see the 57, sending it around.
2 trailer park girls here. He's going around the outside through the carousel here, hoping there was some PJ1 to help him there, but there was not. Harriet will gain a significant amount of time there down the chute and into turn number 6. Cameron Bennett, the Cam and Cam show there at 9th and 10th, and they are doing just that. Massingville, he's in a little world of his own back in the 11th spot. And Riley Music, this is not a race to be the leader, evidently.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here, because there was a car behind him. Did he wheel hop? Did he... He overdrove it. Jeff Gordon 2007 did. He bent it from the lead.
And then you could see Cole Heward went very wide there to avoid him. I don't know if you caught that part too, but Cole Heward had a moment there himself, and now we hit Cole Heward and Chris Horton that are going to be competitive. So I think Horton here's a win.
So I did get a memo from Andre, who is now a admin within the series, and Connor Jones was not intended to start this race. He is not welcomed within the league. He just snuck through the cracks and kind of a mid-race delayed ban of sorts, so he has been removed from the session. So haven't had that happen before, but you know, it's kind of like you don't have tickets for an event and you sneak in and you watch half the show, and then security gets a hold of you and throws you out the door afterwards.
Yeah, I got the same message there from race control. So, you know, I'm glad they caught it and sorted it out eventually. And I know it takes a minute sometimes for those things to get clarified, you know, but kudos to them for catching it and making the right move and not just letting him stay. You throw the ban, keep the ban. So kudos to them for that.
Yeah, exactly that. And it just makes you, as we go back to our race lead, it just makes you wonder. Well, actually, you know, you made a good comment earlier that don't chuck out Chase Williamson out of this race, because due to the leaders, you know, all having problems, he's only 2 seconds off of the lead. He's kind of going, what was it? Who's that dude? Connor with a Z. Connor Zilch. Connor Zillich. Yeah, Connor Zillich at Coda, who started up front, spun out, missed the corner, spun out 86 times, got penalized 86 times, and still managed to finish in the top 5. Well, I think Chase Williamson's kind of going for a slightly less dramatic form of that story here. He's only 2 seconds back. Let's pull up the lap times. And Chris Horton did not run a 6-second lap. That is due to a glitch. There it is. But actually, Cole Huard, now he has the lead, and he's the fastest car on the racetrack, so he may have found the secret sauce.
Yeah, I think Cole has said, oh, okay, I'll take the clean air. I'll run away. I know Chase Williamson is fast behind me. I better build up a gap now so I can relax a little bit towards the end of this race. We're halfway through officially as we get the leaders running down the backstretch here. So halfway through, and the question of the day for me becomes, who catches Cole Heward here? Does Cole hold on to this in that Miami blue number 29 as he can't find the curbs, or does Chase Williamson find him?
Well,
I'll tell you what, though, they're taking similar lines for as much grass as they're cutting there.
Well, I'll tell you, Chase will, if there is a chance at a slowdown here, that number 41 is going for it, because he was basically in the grass for the entirety of the bus stop. Clearly not. Worth noting, Cameron Bennett is in the pits, and I'm not sure what happened to him. Now, you were told that fuel is not a concern, so and I'm just going off my rudimentary knowledge of other forms of stock cars here, as Blake Bassingill may have had some problems. He is rather slow with a very, very damaged front end here. But
I can
go ahead.
I can tell you what happened to Cameron Bennett.
Do tell.
Inner loop wall. Meet right front. That is exactly what happened on lap 15.
Yeah, it didn't trigger anything, but just threw a couple little clickety-doos and making up some words here. He is behind Stone and Harriet. Oh, yeah, that would be a wall there.
Yeah, I can't imagine the right front ran well after that either. So that is a unfortunate moment there for Cameron
you know
Bennett.
what happened, and I'll go back a little bit further. This is a spatial awareness thing. Harriet to the inside, they're side by side. He can't see the turn-in point here because of the 8. So he was just blinded. He turned in early because he thought it was the right place. But actually, there was a wall there. So that was entirely just being blocked by the car ahead of you.
Yeah, but...
No, I give benefit of the doubt there, but there's always two sides to a piece of paper.
Yeah, you can give him the benefit there that cars are side by side in front, but the thing is, you have cars side by side in front. I would back off a little bit more, but also when you look there, you as a road course driver, and primarily my background, of course, is going to be road course. I feel like I've talked about this, but a lot of my background in racing is more road course stuff, not stock cars on Watkins Glen, but GT3 Formula. When you look to the left here, down the back straight going into the inner loop, there are billboards that say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is your meters to the end. Here we go. As we come up the hill, we go down the backstretch here. Look on the left-hand side as they approach the inner loop here. Plus, we're going to get a good view of this
Telestrator
battle.
is ready here. Corey's art skills being tested.
Yep. Look here on your left-hand side. So you have these visual cues right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have those cues to pull in because the idea is that you use those to gauge your braking point. So I don't know if I gauge that down to just 2 cars in front and distracted, because sometimes it's better off to just back off that 5% and survive the corner than to try to have that lunge up the inside to get around someone, especially on the bus stop there, because it goes right, left, left, right. You're not going to get anywhere by trying to send it in 3 wide.
Yeah, I would have, I think the ideal there probably would have been just to run a traditional line there, following the car on the left, and then, to try to see where the gap is. Maybe you have an opportunity exiting, but, that's all. Hindsight is 50-50, or hindsight is 20-20, or hindsight is some number over number fractions here. But worth noting, with Chase Williamson getting by Chris Horton here, he's up to second, and again, Horton is... Rather, Williamson, he is a landscaper. He has a landscaping company, and he is trying to render his services here on iRacing. Unfortunately, we don't need that, but the amount he's in the grass, he may as well have Chase Williamson Landscaping LLC.
Yeah, for real. Chris Horton and Royer in the background there as we run down. Of course, Mark Royer is a letdown car now officially, but man, he was fighting hard there with Chris Horton. You can see how much that fighting opens up a gap as we see Cole Beard coming through. Chase Williamson, 2 seconds back, 12 laps to go. This is going to get very competitive to the end. Cole, I hope you ate your Wheaties for breakfast, because you have a battle on your hands, my friend.
Well, look at as we see here, look at the front left of that car. I mean, obviously the wheels here are heavily cambered. That is just the nature of the car. But that right front damage definitely not helping. Let's go on board with him and see. We did see that 145 miles an hour is kind of the max for this car. Let's see if he is getting to that threshold. And he is 146, 147 even, so he is getting the most out of the car, and so the damage is not hurting him that much here. If we pull up our battle track, actually we don't really need our battle tracker here, but he does have it within 2 seconds now. Last time by, again, he's only about 0.08 of a second faster Van Hoor. That's not going to do it. But just the nature of this track there, Bradley, this is not a Sonoma, for the NASCAR guys. This isn't even a Lime Rock Park where there's a lot of corners and different opportunities for mistakes. This is probably, of all the standardized road courses that most oval guys would know, this is the hardest one to make up time because, in all fairness, I think it's objectively probably the easiest road course that a stock car will go to.
Yeah, this is very much a driver's track, and if you make an error, it is genuinely just on the driver. That's the thing, is if a driver can stay tuned in for 30 laps or however many laps they're running through, in this case it's 30 with 10 to go here, this is a driver's track, and the most dangerous spot you have is that right-hander to start the bus stop. That is where your moment comes in, and if you mess that up, that's the problem. The other big point is right here where we're on board with Justin Crow.
his little
Turn
memo.
1. I read that and lost my train of thought for a moment. Yeah, I appreciate that. But Justin Crow, I know you're here so you don't get fined. And I just hope you know that you're also here and you're possibly about to get passed by Cameron Stone, my friend.
RJ Williams in the pits. I am getting a trigger of a potential issue with Mr. Williams.
I'm getting a trigger with Horton and Royer as well on my side.
Yeah, Chris Horton here, and Royer as well. Oh, what in the name of Davy Jones Locker? Let's go a little bit further back. All right, so this started in the bus stop.
Okay.
Wall, pit wall. I mean, rather, bus stop wall. And now, where does Royer fall into this mix?
Yeah, where does this go? Also, you've got a pass for the lead going right now. Williamson is officially around Eward, going onto the backstretch.
We'll check that replay in a second. But dead left-hand turn by Horton, and then was that a rage?
I don't
want to say that. Was that a hard? Call Chase. Stay on the track, bud. This is
Chase. What are you doing, dude? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, pass back in.
Wait, did he just get? Was that a bump or did he get loose there? Is this Keselowski versus Ambrose or whoever it was?
Anybody versus Joey Logano? Like, what in the world?
Okay, let's just. What happened? Look at this. We're just gonna go back through the S's here. Just cut me if anything happens. But here's the replay. Yep. We're coming through the bus stop. Chase Williamson can't keep the car. He hits the pit wall. I don't know how the right front is still alive. So here comes Cole to the inside. Cole hit. He just curbed. He ran too many curbs, got himself into the dirt. So that was not a little bump and run. That was Cole that's getting himself sideways here. And now Chase is coming up the hill, and if I was Cole, I'd be terrified because you know that 41 is going to make the pass or hit the tire or hit the Armco. And here we come, defensive line. This is going to be hopefully not scary.
Not the inside.
Oh no, contact!
Oh, there's a bump.
And more. This is just Captain Grass.
Oh, gosh. I tell you what, Chase Williamson, I didn't know that you had a lawnmower for a stock car, but I'm enjoying this.
I mean, I've played lawnmowers on Wreckfest before. I think we're more or less doing. Well, first off, how is the right front of that car right fronting? I mean, for lack of better terminology, he has hit that tire wall and been in the grass 87,000 times in 23 laps here. I mean, that's just a credit to the car. It's a credit to him, and it's also a failure to this new damage model because I don't know how. And there goes into the Armco, the safer wall. Was Huard exiting the final quarter. We're all done. There's just toast.
Cole, my friend, you gotta keep it together. And I tell you what, that car is loose. It is loose, and he is struggling. But again, Chase Williamson, how do you have a right front? I'd be curious to see just how off center that steering wheel is for Chase Williamson. I bet it's probably about 10 degrees off at minimum because he is having a bad time here as we run down this backstretch, keep things going. And I want to know why Cole defended the inside line there. Why didn't Cole defend the outside line?
Hooray!
Finally!
And they kept it on the racetrack. Hooray! But this is just, I don't know his age, and I don't want to infer that he is young, but most of the guys in this league are on the younger end, and it's just, that comes with being, you know, whether you're a young driver overall, or you are just new to being up front, and you're not used to being in these positions up front going for wins, where you have to dial yourself back. No, I am faster. I have the faster car. As both of them get into the wall there. You have to tone yourself into the position that I am faster and I know I can get around. I just have to do my thing and not let the adrenaline cause you into making mistakes, which it's doing for both of them right now.
Cole, my friend, breathe. You've got 6 laps, and if you throw it away in the last 6 laps, I'm going to be real upset with you. Just keep it together, buddy. And there is...
Golden, I think he had a small issue here, but we will omit that. And Let's see. I mean, every time this is just roll the die. Are they going to stay on track through the bus stop here? Take your guess. And I'll say mostly yes. And we have a slower car. That's Jeff Williams just in front of the leaders. And he will respectfully let them on by through the carousel. And look at the big sloosy, loosey-goosey slideways. And he saves it.
Jeff Williams, you are the smartest driver on track right now. Just stay out of the way of this. You want no play, no part, no harm, no foul in this. Here we go, coming out of the penalty.
Oh, no!
Oh, 41!
He ain't recovering from that one. He ain't recovering from that one.
I think there was contact, too. I think he had the run on Cole, and they clipped the rear end, and unfortunately, for some reason, he's the one that lost out.
Well, let's see here from the top down blimp cam. Yeah, we'll have to go one more time there and try to go from the rear bumper cam of Cole. I think that's
Cole
just one of those weird
going?
netcode scenarios where it shouldn't have worked out that way. In a physics standpoint, it shouldn't have worked that way. We'll go now from the front nose cam of Chase. You can see entering the corner here. Huard misses the apex. That opens the door, and no physics in the world can explain that one. And oh my God, Jeff Williams' new pair of underpants. That'll be prime shipped one-day overnight delivery.
Jeff Williams is a lucky driver there. Look at this. Look at this. Comes around, sees the battle, and says, okay, I'll stay out of the way. I'll stay out of the way. Oh, there's that. Stay to the right. Oh, look at the rip to the left at the end. Jeff Williams, sir, send me your PayPal. I will buy you a new pair of underwear because everybody knows you need it right now.
So now you would think, if you are Mr. Huard here leading this race, that you can dial out all of those crazinesses. You could dial out going 110%. You now have an 8.5 second lead over Riley Music here. So you can just kind of cruise this one out. He had that car going over and over the edge at every which opportunity. And surprisingly, it was the second place car who made more mistakes as sideways as Huard was that whole time.
Yeah, Cole needs to dial it back about that 10% here and just dial it back and bring it to the end.
Nobody wants to win this race. Nobody wants to win this race. Here comes Riley. This is like 1976 Daytona 500 all of a sudden. He still has the lead, but barely.
There's no
Jeff,
way he
get out of the
keeps
way. You already shat yourself once.
Cole, what are you doing, man? Dial it 5%. I didn't say go faster.
Yeah, we literally just said you have an 8.5 second lead. Like, who, what, where, and why? You didn't need to do that. What's that? There's a scammer TikTok call I heard. You did not need to do that.
Oh, that is the best, too. And if you don't know that, you need to look it up.
You did not need to do that. That's gonna get added to my soundboard. And he just pitted. So
he spun in the final corner.
Did he spin again?
Yes, he spun the final corner.
Oh
Cole, you goofy goober.
What is this? What is this? A Nickelodeon show minus the perverted producer? But let's see here. He gets on the curb and yeah. I mean, this is just well, nobody wants to lead this race. So with even 3 laps to go, I mean, Riley, he already goofed himself out of lead once, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, you can't even this you can't cement yet. So Cam Stone, he's up to 4th, and he is going for room that may or may not exist. There is not a blank space, baby, but he is still trying to write his name, which is to the inside, entering the bus stop. Can he save it? He does, and that brings Hunter Harriet up. He didn't save it. He's in the kitty litter there. He's in the grass, and Harriet will run around the outside. My Lanta, I mean, this is a thing here. That's just the only word I got for it. It's not intentional wrecking. This is 87,000 times better than anything we've seen, but it is just incredible how these guys are they can't keep it in between the white lines in all contexts.
Keep road courses in NASCAR. That's all I'm saying. Road courses, stock cars. It makes good racing.
Well, this is why. You know why? This late model is not designed to be run on road courses. It's goofy, it's wonky, it's not supposed to do this. That's why it's interesting. That's why Gen 6 and Gen 5 and prior, that's why it was good. Why does next gen suck on road courses? Because it's a V8 supercar in disguise. It's meant to do what it's doing, and that makes it boring. When it's goofy, it's fun.
Someone clip that and send that to NASCAR. Tell them to go back to their roots and also design cars that are safer and not just rigid.
Take an asymmetric oval car and put it on a road course, and you wonder why the guys can barely control. Oh yeah, you gotta have horsepower too. So, but either way, we are closing in on the white flag coming through turn number 6 for the penultimate time here. Riley, if you can just dial it back to, you're up by 11.5 seconds. Nathan Rue is saying go for it. Nathan Rue wants his first win of the season. And until that checkered flag is waved and Riley crosses that line, I ain't saying anything early there, Riley, because
nope.
There's no guarantees tonight.
How many times have we been like, how many times tonight have we been like, oh, look at the driver in the lead. Yeah, they're good. I feel like we've commentator cursed everybody that's not racing right now.
No, it ain't us tonight.
That one guy.
I take no fault tonight. This is... Well, look at Riley. He missed the apex there. Now keep it off the wall. He completely missed the apex on the second half of the S's here. But again, he's got 12 seconds to boot. Cam Stone, he has been the battle king all night. He has been in something. I mean, I don't think he's definitely had the camera time award here of the race. He is trying to get potentially up to third. That is right in front of him. But now coming through the carousel for the penultimate time here is Riley Music. He's the dominator on the season. And I'll tell you that, you know, when you have a dominator and you have a race that they're not supposed to win and you let them win it, that is a failure on the rest of the field.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, because the thing is, the key at this moment is that everyone just needed to run. Riley Music didn't have pace here. Riley Music wasn't in the run to win. Something big has happened between Crow and Harriet in the background, but don't change the camera from this win yet, because Riley Music, you deserve this one because you have just stayed consistent and you are going to win the Glen.
He's going to win the Glen and through the forest and through the trees. Again, Hunter Harriet. And who was the other car that you kind of queued out there? Crow.
It was Justin Crow and Harriet that had a moment. And guess who finds P3? Cameron Stone by a matter of survival.
Yeah, and I was not expecting to talk to him tonight, and probably he wasn't expecting to talk to us, but that will be an occurrence here. And this is what that wreck was there. Entering the bus stop, hopping the curbs. Crow missed the bus stop. He missed the apex. That allowed Harriet to close in, and then he done sent it. That's our Myrtle Beach. That's our stuff that we haven't liked. We didn't see it all night. We saw it on the last lap, and I think that was a royal finger to the wind there, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, Riley Music gets the win here on the evening, and these guys are all running their cool down. So congratulations go to Riley. He snuck one out that I think, as you said, he'll admit probably in his interview this wasn't his race, but that's how you know you're championship worthy, when it's not your race and you find a way to win it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you are Chris Horton or Chase Williamson or Cole Heward, you are absolutely kicking yourself. You are, oh man, because what do you say to that? What do you think? What do you feel? Because literally all you had to do was just hold on to it. You just had to drive, especially if you're Cole Heward, you just had to drive.
You just had to drive, and, well, that ended up being a little bit more difficult than some of these guys anticipated. But both of us are on double duty night, so we got to get this field run down and give you our post-race show. Getting the win because he just didn't wreck. Ultimately, Riley Music is going to get another one with Nathan Rue getting a survival second. Cam Stone, he probably the comeback kid award. He's going to get third. Justin Crow in fourth. Hunter Harriet, he is in fifth there after that last lap little folly. Brent Meckes, didn't talk about him. He's the sixth place car in the 66, so 666. Not, I don't know if he's going to like that spot there, but that's where he is. Massengill, Golden, Williams, and Huard. You just had to run 80%, bro, but he's going to be stuck in 10th.
Yeah, looking from that, it's Cameron Bennett, P11, Chase Williamson, P12, RJ Williams, P13. Chris Horton is going to hear P14 for the night. P15, Mark Royer. P16 will be Jake Groot because, of course, the guy that's actually showing his P16 got booted from the server because he was supposed to have a band.
Yeah, interesting things there, but we will go find our race winner here. And just 1 second, and we'll pull him on in. All right, Riley. Well, this was a race of basically, you didn't want to be the leader today because whoever led basically screwed up and gave it away, yourself included. But I guess all the karma worked itself out and to put you back up front, and you didn't screw it up when it mattered.
Yeah, we were quick. I just messed up in the race. I could have led a lot more if I didn't make that mistake. Cole was fast, good buddy of mine. Chase Williamson on my setup, he was really, really fast, and he showed me that I needed to get way better, and I was off the pace personally, but I had a lot of fun. I'm not no road course racer, and I really didn't deserve to win this. This was between Chase and Cole. I was at best a third place, second place car, but we were able to just luck into one. And as the saying goes, I'd rather be lucky than good.
Well, yeah, that's championship material. I told Bradley in the cool down lap. I mean, that's championship materials when you take a car that shouldn't win and you put it in victory lane. Now, was it a handling thing tonight? Was it just how awkward these cars are on a road course? Or was it really just driver mistakes? We saw people, full yeeting the curbs, hitting the Armco, entering the bus stop, really slideways on exit. Was it just a matter of how hard you had to push these things?
I wouldn't say that. It was just like me and Chase's cars were really, really good. I felt like me, Chase, and Hunter, we all had pretty even cars, and Connor, we were all even and all in pretty good setups, but it's just that I had to get better in some places, and it's just tricky. Because half of us don't race road course. We're all oval guys, and it showed tonight, I'll say that.
Yeah, it showed, but either way, it puts you in victory lane here. Any final words before we let you go, man?
Just glad to be here.
All right, and we'll see what you can do next week, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, and Bradley with second place here, Nathan Rue.
Nathan Rue finding P2 in a race. You started fourth, you found second. Tell me about your time in New York at the Glen.
We did not bring the piece we needed this year, but we looked at what was going on there, and I knew what everybody was going to run. It was going to be close on fuel. We started on the front stretch there, so we added a gallon. We didn't have to worry about it. But congrats to those guys. They were leaps and bounds ahead of us. Whatever their stables are doing for sets is amazing. It's they were just on another level. So, but we'll take looking into a second and go from there. Get some double points tonight and see what happens.
Yeah, second place, definitely not bad. And I know before the race, we were kind of informed no pit stops at all were expected anywhere. And you said you added the extra gallon. Did you have to do any conservation or do anything to make sure you made it to the end? And do you think that kind of played out into anyone else?
No, not adding that extra gallon, but what everybody seemed to be running was just enough to get through. And, I don't know if they accounted on starting from the front stretch instead, half lap around like the road usually does. So, that's going to cut in that little bit, that 0.3 or so you were to the good, and I didn't really want to deal with saving, so we just throwed that extra gallon in there.
I like it.
It worked out for us.
I like the plan a lot. Throw an extra gallon and keep it to the floor there. Now, I gotta ask, did you keep tabs of everyone up front? Every time there was a leader, the leader would somehow wreck and lose the lead. And what did you do to keep yourself consistent the whole race and make sure that you didn't end up in that position of being up on the podium places and then dropping back?
Luckily, they drove away so far, I couldn't see what was going on. So, we were just trying to nurse it home, dealing with the problems we were having. We just, like I said, we missed it this week. And but congrats to them because them cars was on a rail. But, we just tried to get what we could. We were out there and the car wasn't reacting the way we wanted, but we got it home, had a little bit of luck. We'll take it.
Awesome. Well, Nathan, appreciate your time. Congrats on the P2, and we will see you at the next one, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. And Corey's caught up with our P3 driver, Cameron Stone, who I don't think we expected to be speaking to.
No, I think this is the first time I've ever called you in the booth, man, in any, well, since 100% pays, but this was a race of don't wreck, and you had your issues, and you were in a gaggle the entire race, and nobody wanted to lead up front. Everybody wrecked out, and I gave you a third place, man. How'd that work out for you tonight?
Yeah, I looked up about 3 laps to go and realized I was fighting for 4th, and a few laps before that I was fighting for like 7th, and I was really confused as to what was going on and where everybody went. But yeah, I was talking to Bryson in Discord. He was watching the stream and he was like, yeah, everybody that gets the lead just wrecks. So I feel like I passed the whole field, but I definitely didn't. It was hard to pass out here. There was really only 2 spots on the track that you could try to make a pass. If a guy didn't make a mistake or something, but coming through the field tonight was tough. I'm pretty sweaty right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know these cars, they cap out about 147, so you're chipping it on the straights, and I know being open set, but we saw guys hitting the pit wall for one, so that's kind of more driver mistake, but the amount of times you guys were getting loose in the center and on exit, was that just, really yawing it in the corner? Because I know it's not the power. What was it set up? What do you think was causing all those guys just getting totally sideways?
Yeah, for me, it was just trying to get a run on a guy going into a braking zone. The corner before that, you're trying to just carry as much speed through the exit as you can, and really you just carry that arc way out wide on the entry to try to carry as much speed as possible. And once we got about 10-15 laps into the race, the tires were just too hot to handle that. But as a driver, you're never going to admit that you can't do it, so everybody just continued to, myself included. Really the only spot on the track that I felt like I had an advantage on anybody that I was passing was in the bus stop. A lot of guys were kind of entering shallow. I don't know if they were
mauling down the fence. They were mauling down the fence, and your front was perfect.
I think what I'm saying is a lot of people were trying to keep that wall in their sight on the entry, and they were like shading that way before they got there. So they're kind of shallow in the entry so they can see the wall so they don't hit it. And I was coming as far from the left as possible and getting way over to the right to get that second left-hander in there. So through the center of the bus stop, I felt like I had a lot of speed, but there's really not a good way to pass anybody going into the carousel because it's such a long, drawn-out corner. I got myself in trouble a couple times getting a good run out of the bus stop and trying to do something with it, and it just wouldn't turn anymore.
Yeah, well, it works out for you. Like I said, you kind of walk yourself into a podium run here tonight. I don't know where we're at next week, but wherever it is, we'll see if you can get a good one, man. Congrats.
Yeah, we're going to give it a shot, man. Appreciate you guys.
Pop some Sterlings. That is our joke for have some Coors Lights, just for those who aren't in the inside jokes. But, well, this ain't a race that we've seen in this season there, Bradley, but I'll tell you, as crazy as this was, I had some fun watching this one.
I like road courses, and I love Watkins Glen. I think Watkins Glen is a very, very good road course. It's one that's on my bucket list to travel to and watch a real-life race at, and I'm hoping to get to do that this year, but that might get tabled next year. But either way, I love virtual Glen. I love real-life Glen. I like driving the Glen. It's just a good track, top to bottom. And man, did it bring some good racing.
Yeah, it did. Well, I'm in driving distance of this track, so we'll try to figure out something there. But both of us have some double duty. He does on the JPB broadcast channel, and I got some double duty here with the Red Sox Racing League. So make sure you like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll have the Red Sox Racing League tonight. Bradley and I will be back on Saturday night for the Spartan Masters Series at some place, IRP, I believe they're at. And then we got Mustangs and a full week of action next week. That's going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.